I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the Cowboy Man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses because it would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hind quarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the dirty. Skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. Tiffany, you're muted. What are you saying, ma'am?
I said, I don't think we're live. Did you hit the go live button?
Yes.
Oh, because it doesn't show on my side.
Are we seriously not live?
I'm
watching on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just mine then. Just kidding. Bobby, yeah. We're live. Proceed.
Okay. But it says go live on mine too. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. Everybody's saying that they're live, that we're live. So, hey, we're live. This is just another one of our blooper reels because we are freaking awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. It does say go live up in the top. And I noticed it took an extra long time for it to start. Mm-hmm. But you got to hit go live, and then you got to confirm go live down at the bottom. And I did both.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this on YouTube right now.
Everybody's saying we're live.
So
anyway, start over.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. I'm your host, Wayne the Dizzle. Joined as always. That just don't work, does it? Joined as always by my partner in crime, Miss Tiffany. How are you doing, madam?
I am extremely glad to be here. I need this show.
I know you do, and I know that given everything that's going on with the legal stuff that you can't talk a whole lot about it, but is there anything you do want to share before we get going?
I can share that me and Carrie whooped ass as much as we possibly could, and that I am extremely proud of my 15-year-old for protecting herself and her dog with a baseball bat. And we did lose Nelson, but it's just gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. It was very unfair. It was totally something that can be avoided, and we're just gonna get through it day by day. It'll be okay.
It absolutely could have been avoided, and I don't know what we can and can't talk about, so I'm not going to elaborate on the piece of shit. I'll just leave it right there. Yeah, I hate that. You called me when it was happening. I was taking a nap, and the phone rang, and I didn't answer, and then the phone rang again, and I looked, and it was you texting saying, answer the phone, it's an emergency, so I called you right back. You were in the back of the ambulance with all that going on, so No, it's terrible, and I hate it. God, I hate it. It's awful. Nelson deserved better. You guys deserve better.
Yeah, I know I can't say anything about the legal stuff concerning the other party. However, I think I can tell you that me and Carrie did get bit. I do have stitches. Her bite wasn't deep enough to need stitches, but it was cleaned up really good, and we are we are having rabies vaccinations, so you are all safe from rabies currently. So if I bite you, you're good.
I mean, what does it say that I need to just stop? You are even having to go through the whole rabies shit. I mean, in today's age,
Yeah.
if you don't know if you're not getting your dog vaccinated for rabies, you don't need a dog. Okay? I mean, that's all there is to it. If you don't have a fence to keep your dogs in, you don't need a dog. If you don't have the time to walk your dog, you don't need a dog. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't need 4 dangerous dogs living in one house. And that you just okay, I'm going to stop because I don't know. Again, I don't know what I can say.
All I can tell you is for the people who I am personally friends with on Facebook, and I don't add a lot of people that request me just because I am a private person, but I am very open with you guys because you are my family. I am very close to every single person in this chat room and backstage. And you can absolutely go and follow up with everything on my Facebook. But it is only showing to my friends. So, yeah.
Well, Carrie's a little badass. From what I heard, she took a bat to the dog. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I know she was a little badass from the time I got to hang out with her in Gatlinburg, riding those roller coasters and everything. She's tough. She's gonna get through it.
Yeah.
But I was telling Tiffany before we came on that a few years ago, like 5 years ago, one of the most traumatic things that ever happened to me. Jordan and I had a little puppy. He was, I guess, maybe 6 months old, and he had gotten out of the fence, and he got hit by a car. We heard it happen. We heard him yelp, and we heard a car slam on its brakes. We went outside to get him, and he ended up dying in Jordan's arms. And that was one of the most traumatic things I ever went through. As a 40-year-old man, I cried for 3 days over that little puppy and the pain that it went through. I can't imagine watching a dog go through what Nelson had to go through. It's heartbreaking. No one should have to go through that. Everything's happening that needs to happen, though. People will pay. They will pay for what they did, and you guys will get stronger from it.
Yeah, and it's like I told Zach, I was like, I really need tonight's show because we're just trying to move forward at this point and kind of get back into as much of a routine as possible. And I mean, one of my favorite people are back here, so I need the show. I'm not gonna say what I said the last time he was on because I still haven't lived that down.
Again, and I'm going to touch on this. I don't know what is going on because it's not even counting down the time.
It's not.
Okay, so y'all bear with me for a minute. I'm going to hit the go live thing and just see what happens.
Okay.
An error occurred. Wait a moment and try again. Go live. See, it's doing what it was doing before.
Mm-hmm. It must be just glitching on it. We'll see.
Okay,
it says you are live.
Now it's saying we're live. Did that change anything, our audience members?
Yeah, because now it's saying, even Bobby said now it says live. Yep, Wayne just had to press that button.
I pressed the button.
Now it tells us how many people's in here.
Yeah, it normally doesn't.
And Troy said nothing changed for them, so I don't know. Was he?
Well, anyway, maybe people just miss you crying. They don't need to see that anyway.
That's fine. They don't need to see me crying. I'm an ugly crier.
All right, well, we're only 45 seconds in, so we're doing good.
We are we're so professional. I love us.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but we are on track tonight or right now.
Yes.
All right, who needs a dizzle?
Everybody needs a dizzle.
We got some dizzle backstage. The poll question tonight: does everybody need the dizzle? At this moment, 88% say yes.
Everybody needs the dizzle.
Says no. I'm thinking the 12% that says no isn't a part of the inside joke. Want to tell everybody the inside joke before we get to everything?
Yes, the last time we had Mr. Dizzle on, I made the comment that we need to bring him out because everyone needs the Dizzle. And I've not lived that down since. So
at least the Dizzle.
So I talked to Wayne last night, and I told him before that, I wasn't going to talk anything about what happened with our dog or anything like that due to legal. And I was like, well, I can talk about some. And I was like, hey, I know what the poll question should be. We should put the poll question as, does everyone need the Dizzle?
Yeah.
And so we did.
That's right. All right, let's pay some bills, and then we will get the Dizzle out.
Let's do it.
Where is everything? There it is. All right, everybody, if you are new to the show tonight, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are happy to have you. Before you leave, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Help Miss Tiffany and I continue to grow this show.
You guys, I'm sorry. I had to swallow my water. If you would like to be on with Wayne and I, you can reach out to us both, Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com or me, Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com, and we can get you scheduled for November.
I want to ask everybody to head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. That is our website. You can sign up for the Bigfoot newsletter that comes out every week. Check out all of the other shows under the studio's umbrella. Pick up some merch. All of that amazingly awesome, cool stuff. But you can't do any of it unless you head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. You're muted, ma'am.
Oh my God. What is wrong with me? Blooper reels, man. If you have questions or comments for tonight's guest, please just put them in all capital letters. We highlight them for the end of the show, and we do a rapid fire Q&A. Just make sure they're in all capital letters, please.
All right. And as always, guys, our memberships are open. We've had a couple people sign up recently for the memberships. We are very, very happy to have you. But if you have not done so, we invite you to please spend that $1.99 a month and become a member. It helps us out so very much. You get extra content. You get access to the members only Discord. You get early access to stuff. Yeah, it's a whole little community, and we have a good time hanging out, and yeah, we're just a family, basically. So yeah, if you would like to become a member, we would love to have you. Also, if you notice at the bottom, we haven't been doing as many super stickers because YouTube likes to take their percentage, and I don't blame them. I mean, they got to make their money somehow. I just don't know why they have to make so much of our money. I mean, you guys love us, you help us, but you're also helping YouTube almost as much. It's like 36%, something like that YouTube takes. That adds up. So the last month we did this experiment where you could either help us with Cash App or Venmo, and that is at the bottom. and our regulars have been doing that. So if you can do it, awesome. Thank you so much. As a matter of fact, Miss Chris Blaylock hit us with $35 before we even started tonight.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
So thank you very much, ma'am. As it happens after the show or the next morning, usually, whatever you guys help us out with, I send Tiffany her half of that. So we split everything because we are a team. So if you guys could do that and help us avoid some of those fees, because we're not rich. I mean, we don't have 200,000 subscribers all throwing money at us like some of these channels do. Just trying to make it so anybody that can help, we certainly appreciate it, because this stuff ain't free, y'all. I mean, StreamYard, what we're using right now, is not free. I pay $50 a month just to be able to bring you guys live shows. The editing software, the software to make the thumbnails, I pay for that. We pay for all of that, guys. Nothing is free. So your help is greatly appreciated. So anything you could do, we would appreciate it.
Yes.
Did I miss anything, ma'am, or did we miss anything, or what?
Well, it's been a whole cacophony of just hilarity so far. I think we've got everything as much as we can.
What's a cacophony?
It's like a lot.
It's like a lot?
It's a lot.
That's what cacophony means?
Yeah. In my world, cacophony. Like a cacophony of sounds in the forest. It's like a whole bunch.
I'm picturing like a grave.
No, that
Coffin.
is, what is that?
Coffin.
Yeah, well, it's a coffin, but there's a particular word for this. It's like a monument.
Mausoleum.
Yeah. But we're totally on two separate train tracks.
Anyway, we got this Bigfoot creature type thing called the Flintville Monster. We got a gentleman backstage who is a friend of the show. He has been on before. I have been on this show. You have been on his show. And he's been on ours. I think this is his second appearance.
Third.
He's a really cool guy. He doesn't live very far from me. He's in Alabama. I am in Tennessee. Roll Tide. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened in that Tennessee game with Alabama. Oh yeah, I do. Never mind. But but we had Sin Schrader Hill on. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. Sin Schrader Hill. She and Bobby are pretty close. They're good friends. And she was talking about the Flintville Monster. And Bobby watched that show, and he reached out to me to talk about it and said he's been putting together some stuff on it, like a little mini documentary that he's been doing on it. So we thought we'd bring him on tonight to talk about some of the Sin Schrader Hill. Thank you. To talk about some of the stuff that he's been experiencing. This was one of the first like local Bigfoot legends I looked into when I started doing Bigfoot, because Flintville, it's in Tennessee. Yeah, I think it's on the Tennessee-Alabama line. We'll let Bobby talk about that when he comes on. But it's interesting, man. It started happening back in the 70s, I believe. And Bobby has talked to some people that were like instrumental, that were like there when it happened. So I'm really, really excited to do this show tonight. And if you're ready, man, we're just going to bring him on.
Yes. And I remember to unmute myself that time.
There you go.
Yes, bring him out. We need the dizzle.
Everybody needs the dizzle. What's up, buddy?
Well, now that there's been a cacophony of high expectations to how funny I'm going to be, I guess I have to put up or shut up.
There you go.
What was I? What in the world? But yeah, like you were saying, 1974 was, I think, the first Flintville Monster case or sighting.
All right. Before we get into that, Bobby, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, about what you do, your channel, all of that good stuff. And at the end, we'll give you a chance to do it again, to share like some destinations where they can find you. But just tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, I got a podcast called The Caffeinated Cryptid with Bobby Dizzle. It used to be called the Bobby Dizzle Podcast. That's why the Bobby Dizzle thing. I can't take my name away from it because I paid for the website for several years. So stuck with it until further notice. But yeah, I talk about a lot of It's rooted. I say rooted in Bigfoot, but I have a lot of scientists on, anthropologists, biologists. It kind of just a related field. I consider it like the murder board, the red yarn. You got Bigfoot going to like a Gigantopithecus to a dinosaur bones and back and forth. I have the gambit. But here lately I've been running with a lot of psychics. I don't know what's going on there. But other than that, you can hit me up. I have everything in the little quadrant. It's like taking it's like going down to the annex and taking a adult course on the paranormal and getting like an associate's degree in the paranormal coming on my show. Because we have every little aspect. We have like pet psychic 101. We have angel number 101. We have biologist. It's everything in between. Whatever's interested me at the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. What got you interested in the Flintville monster? Now, like I was saying, you're in Alabama. What Birmingham? Is that right?
Huntsville on the line.
Huntsville. Okay, yeah, you're right on the line. And how far are you from Flintville? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Flintville is I think the last time I went up there from my house. What is with my throat tonight? I'm sorry. Tiffany got me choked up. I ain't recovered. But I'm over here.
Sorry, friend.
It's all right. I think the last time I went to Flintville, and I went to downtown Flintville, I mean the historic district where they have like the cow. And it was 31 minutes, which I don't know if it's because I had to pass through a school zone. It's not far. As the crow flies from where Sin lives and where I live, it's like 15 miles. So it's like right above me.
Wow.
You gotta go kind of up and kind of over. But and I grew up in Scottsboro, which is closer to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Than I am now. And so Flintville was like I used to be in that quadrant all the time, Huntland and Kelso. My dad spent the weekend up there this weekend fly fishing.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, as close as you are to Chattanooga, I'm really surprised that you and I haven't gotten together to do something.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I know we will. I mean, I'm in Chattanooga. You're in Huntsville. You talk a lot about the South Pittsburgh Hospital, old South Pittsburgh Hospital. I want to go check that out. I've never done it. Have you been to that one?
I did an overnight there one time. That's where I met Miss JB Coates. I don't know if you know her or not. Renowned Tennessee ghost investigator. She just recently lost her husband. But that's where I met her, and I got to meet everybody up there. I think the Tennessee Wraith Chasers go up there a lot. I know you've heard of them. But it was neat. The dude kept telling me to turn my light off, and I'm like, I'll be damned. It's scary. So we went, and it was he had tickets, and it was 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I'm like, I ain't seen 2 a.m. I can't tell you when. I mean, bad things have to happen to be up at 2 a.m. Most of them's urination. And
that's right.
Most of them means I drank too much water before I went to bed. But
water, I'm sure.
Yeah, and everybody buys the 6 to midnight ticket because you just go in there and you get the feel of it. Or there's a 6 to 10, a 6 to midnight, and you got armbands, and they come around and check you. And about the time midnight came, nobody was in the place anymore. Me and dude and like 3 other people. But it's a hospital, so de facto empty. We're at this nurse station. I'm just like, he's like, turn your light off. We're just gonna sit here. I'm like, holy Jesus. It's 40 degrees. It's dark and it's quiet. He's like, turn your light off. I'm like, I don't want to turn my light off. He's running the spirit box. It's like, get out, kill, get out. But other than that, like that part was scary to me. Other than I was already in my head because we'd been in there for 6 hours, and so the whole, I made it. We left at 12:30. I was like, I'm not staying till 2. I can't do it. But before that,
were you that afraid, Bobby?
No, I was in my head. I wasn't scared. I mean, I could have hung out there all night. I was starting to get tired, and we'd been in there for 6 hours, and they got stairs, and I'm like,
they got stairs.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to. We kept walking upstairs. I'm like, come on.
Nobody likes stairs. Man.
This is a hospital. I know there's elevators.
This is not leg day, damn it.
But that part was okay. But by that time, I was starting to get kind of psyched out, and like I finally turned my light off for like 30 minutes, and nothing happened. But I just kept saying, I had a North Face on, and they zip up, almost like here. the collar does to block wind. I zipped it up like that, and I kept saying, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." And my buddy Will was like, "I'm not going to." I said, "I'm not talking to you."
No, I mean, I asked you that if you were scared. I mean, not to give you shit, but just to tell you that I'm there with you, man. I mean,
just
that's
the
the reason
psychological thing.
I haven't done these things, and I'm so interested in it. I've talked about it so many times. I want to do an investigation, and I'm going to. I'm going to go out. Crystal Blevins, who we had on the other night for the Bell Witch, she keeps telling me she's going to take me out to do some investigations and stuff. And I'm going to. I'm going to do it. I'm such a chicken, man. I'm so afraid that something is going to latch on, and I'm going to take it home, and I'm going to have to deal with it on a permanent basis. Going and doing something for a few hours, that's one thing. But having to live with it 24/7, I don't want to do that.
You don't want a shadow man, not in your house. See, I was in the parking lot. I was there early, and I was about 20 minutes earlier than my friend who had bought the tickets. And I started talking to him and looking at him. I said, "Look, spirits of the hospital, I'm here for exhibition. I'm not going to try to free you or harm you or taunt you. Do not come home with me. Don't mess with me. I mean, if you need to touch me, you can just for experience, but don't come home with me." I said, "I am Catholic. I know priest. You ain't going to make it." I'm like, "It's not going to be well if you come home with me." And I'm just here for fun. I even when I go on Bigfoot expeditions, I say this to the Bigfoot. I'm like, "You can show me yourself. Just don't try to hurt me." And I'll say it to him just in my head silently, maybe sometimes out loud if it's starting to get. And then I don't know if you know anything about South Pittsburgh, which I'm sure you do.
My dad's entire family came from that area. I've been there like visiting. We just did the Squatch out in South Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but
which I missed.
As far as spending a whole lot of time there, no, but I know where it's at.
But when right before you cross right after you cross the Alabama line on 72, there's a bridge that goes to Bridgeport, Alabama. And we used to hang out there because I used to buy beer in South Pittsburgh every other day before I was 21 because they would sell it right there on the state line. And I slowed down to about 40 miles an hour on the interstate and rolled my back windows down on my truck. I said, "Look, if you're in here to hitchhike, you can get out now." I said, "Because when I hit the cruise control back, it's over." I said, "We're going to the Diocese of Birmingham. You're going to get exercise." And I slowed down for about 15 seconds. I'm like, "Get out now. If anybody's back here, I looked in my rearview mirror. I'm like, get out now." Serious. And I rolled the back windows back up, hit my cruise, and nothing ever. At peace. I don't know. Now I got chills. What the? But anyway, like I was going to say, you were saying you'd be scared in a moment. The paranormal things that did happen didn't scare me a bit because things did happen to me there. But I wasn't scared. I was like, "This is interesting. This is like I was ready to go zoink Scoob and chase after him, man."
And you might have already talked about it. I might have just missed it. But didn't you do like the human pendulum when you got there?
JB was the one doing that. There's a video of it on my website. But the human pendulum was cool. That was basically like just a human Ouija board. The crazy thing was they were doing the SD session.
Oh yes.
And did I talk about this? They're doing an SD session, and the ghost or the spirit said how many people were in the room.
That's wild.
And me and my buddy was in the body shoot doing the SD session. I'm calling out like I'm being the transcriber at the end of the body shoot. And JB, the ghost investigator, is over there like leading. She was kind of like the MC. And then said 14 people in the room. She counted. I was like, "Oh man, I ain't ready for this. I'm not ready for this." All of a sudden, I'm Danny Glover. And then this other little group walked in, and they milled around, threw a cat ball or two, and they left. And it said 5 people left. Sure enough, 5 people just left.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in the body shoot. No, not scared at all. Just like, that was crazy.
It's just like you're intrigued at the same time of like
I'm talking 0%. Like I didn't leave, and after I left, I realized I wasn't scared. I was like, wow, I was more scared when it got quiet. Then we go upstairs to an operating room, and I have pictures of this. I'm not going to try to find it and throttle down the podcast here, but there's a chair. It's like a regular chair. You would say it like a kitchen table. I think it was metal, and we were getting the EVP, the K2 readings. It's got the light in the middle. It'll show like It'll go like a little like yellow, red.
Yeah, it detects the
And
energy.
yeah, right above this chair, it just went to the middle green. You move it off the chair, it would go away. You
So
move
that
it
was
too far,
definitely.
there's something sitting in this chair. We'd move it. Here's the kicker. We set it in the chair. It's doing it. I picked the chair up. All of a sudden, we're in a Jewish wedding. I'm carrying this ghost. I'm carrying this chair around the room above my head like this, and the K2 is not moving. No matter where I go, I set the chair down, take the K2 off the chair, that goes away.
Huh.
And so we're like, yeah, there's definitely some ghost is mad right now that I'm moving him around. And
He's
so
probably like, oh shit.
Mazel tov. And I set it down, and it came back. And then we start talking to it. Then we start engaging. So if you're in this chair, make that little light move. So it's like it moved all the way to the next one beside the last one, and just held it. This other group walked in. Hey, y'all seen anything? Boop, nothing. Ghost. Never got another reading. I was like, you sons.
Oh wow. Well, because it takes a lot of energy to get those K2s up there.
It scared the thing. So they said, hey, y'all seeing anything? Like we're deer hunting or something. Like, yeah, any luck? This ain't a bridge. We're not fishing, man. But yeah, it went away and never came back. We went back in the room like 5 more times trying to get it. But after that, I was like, I wasn't scared at all. Like that, I was holding a ghost in a chair.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens when it gets real. And Sin will tell you, and you don't think about it. Now, if something were to grab my neck hairs and pull, I'd probably run. But that scientific kind of reading, I was 0%. I wasn't even thinking about it being a ghost. Like, it's kind of cool.
This is really happening.
Yeah,
I'll materialize or I'll kick something.
Bobby, something that you kind of talked about a little bit when you talk about you talk to them like in your mind, not like out loud.
I do both.
That resonated with me because I do the same thing when I go on Bigfoot investigations. We've all heard people talk about like the telepathy with Bigfoot and the mind speak and stuff like that. I don't know where I stand on all that. I think mind speak is possible between humans, like twins. They have the ability. There's studies out there that they have this ability. So I don't know. I don't want to sound crazy and say that I go out there and talk to Bigfoot all the time in my head, but we just don't know. So every time I'm in the woods, I'm doing that. I'm telling them, I mean you no harm. I'm not here to cause any problems. I just want to learn from you. If you would let me see you, that would be amazing. Just stuff like that. And so people do that with ghosts as well.
I just kind of brief them, kind of like an in brief. Just kind of like a reading over the safety brief beforehand. I'm like, and I'll say it to myself and in my mind subsequently, but just chill. I'm here for exhibition. I'm your friend. I'm like, I think even as I don't want to say that, as odd as it will sound, I'll like tell them like my website they can check me out on if you want to see how legit I am. Like, I got a podcast. I'm not Zach Bagans. I don't have a gun. I'm like, y'all can check me out on bobbydizzle.com and see all my episodes. I'm a friend of the family. I'm a no-kill guy.
All right.
Give me a 10-second sighting if you're a Bigfoot. Just stand there for 10 seconds and leave. That's all I want.
The name of this episode is The Flintville Monster. I gave a brief little synopsis of how we come about this episode. We had Miss Sin Trader Hill, who's in the chat tonight. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. She came on, did a great episode, a really, really good episode. She talked a little bit about the Flintville Monster, and she talked a little bit about you, Bobby. And yeah, I know that dude. He's all right. So you and I watched one of your shows the other night. We just kind of started talking and put this together. You have been doing, or you're working on a documentary on the Flintville Monster, right?
I am.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, like when you started and everything that's happened so far?
Yeah, it's going to be called The Flintville Monster 50 Years Later. I've got AI drew a crazy, scary picture of the face of a roaring white Sasquatch, and so it's going to be my cover. But I'll tell you when my Flintville Monster really started is my coworker, who is subsequently my boss, who I would consider a friend now, and Kevin Stallings in the chat knows him as well. When I first started delving into the paranormal side of the podcast, he's like, "Well, you know, my aunt saw one step flat-footed over a chain link fence up there back in the day," and I'm like, "Yeah, let me hear more about that one, please." Notepad in hand. And I actually went back today and asked him more about it. He said it was up in Prospect. It's a little town just close to Flintville, a little holler. And she said they were sitting outside and this white white being walked across the backyard, stepped flat footed over a chain link fence and kept on trucking up in the Flintville area. And he just happened to tell me, he's like, "Yeah, there used to be sightings up there." So I got to looking around and Googling, didn't think nothing about it till me and Sin did a show. And she mentioned it. And I happened to remind, Flintville Monster, have you heard about it? She's like, "I think I've heard something about it." And then she knew a Mr. Don Counts who hooked me up with a lot of people. I get opened up. I was on the phone with people from the East Tennessean University, or the emails with them, because they interviewed people. And I got their interviewees. I've got two long interviews, long form, and that's what I'm cutting up for the documentary. But one says it's white, one says it's pitch black. But most of the people say it's white. Like Sim was saying, albino, like the Alabama white thing. From down here, this direction.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot lately about the white Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little hike for this past weekend, actually. My good buddy Kevin Jones, who is also a member of my research group, Manimal Research, we teamed up with Outdoor Chattanooga to do a Bigfoot hike here in Chattanooga, and we did it Saturday, and it was great. There was, I think, 20 people showed up to do this hike, and we shared stories, did a little show and tell on the equipment that we use, and we ended up walking a 3.8 mile trail with a little over 500 feet of elevation. So I wore the what out when I got done. And the whole time you're talking to people, answering questions, telling stories about Bigfoot. So it was a great time. But one of the questions that come up was a white Bigfoot. And I have this theory, and I want to get your opinion on it, Bobby. Maybe you and I have talked about it. I don't know. But what if they're not white? What if they're gray? Because they're old. You see the gray in my beard and in my hair. As we get older, our hair turns gray. What if they're older? What if that's what we're seeing?
It could be, because in the sunlight, a gray would look white, just like an old lady, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just weird that they're all down here. Like all the white one legends are in the South.
Why is that?
I don't know. It seems to be a thing down here and not up north. Like all the ones up north are your patties and your 18-foot monster giants. Down here it's the white ones. And I think one of my interviewers saw a white one walking on the railroad tracks, and it started mimicking hoot owls on him. And yes, and then Glenn Jackson. I don't know if you had him on before. I know Tiffany knows him.
That name
Glenn
sounds familiar. Have we had Glenn Jackson on before?
Yeah. I don't know if we've had him on, but I've been on
Tiffany's been on his. That's what it was. But he saw the Alabama white thing down south of here. And it was mist, and it appeared, and then it misted away. Red glowing eyes.
Yep, I remember him talking about that.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know. It's anytime you start diving in, it just gets weirder. Like I feel like if you're still sitting up there on the aper pedestal, you just haven't dive in. You just don't have an imagination.
Yeah, because when you were on, it was just you and I, because Wayne was at a basketball game. That's when we kind of dug into the supernatural bag of things.
I think you have to. Everything leads to it. Like you're like, oh, it's just an ape. Well, we're just going to sit here and look at each other for an hour. Because there's no bodies. There's one tooth from 300,000 years ago, and a video with some massive swinging 8 boobies that somebody may or may not have faked back in the 60s. And so who knows what would have happened? Who knows? I mean, it died on the vine, but here we are, 50 60 years later from Patty and people still see the things. What are they seeing? Is everybody a liar? Is everybody that comes on the show a liar, or is it a glitch in our pineal gland that makes us see these things from like some kind of evolutionary holdover negative, like photo negative in our evolutionary that makes us see like big monkeys in the woods every so often, or we think they're there, like the uncanny valley and the what's the other one where you see somebody oh my god, it's a phenomenon, you know what I'm talking about, where you see humans hyperbolia, not
No, pareidolia.
Hyperbolia. That's where you make funny comments. Yeah, pareidolia. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
Who's that pastor from North Carolina that says every paranormal experience is in the brain, even UFOs? But it could be something like that. A lot of the people I talk to who have like the crazy all the time sightings, like they come to their house and throw rocks at their window.
Yeah,
they have the near death experiences.
Those are intriguing.
There's a lot of
yeah,
like the Venn diagram is like this: the near death and Bigfoot witnesses, or some kind of car wreck, or they died as a baby, something like that.
It's crazy. And I heard somewhere like if you did have some sort of near-death experience, you're more likely, and even some kind of childhood trauma or abuse or something, you're more likely to experience Bigfoot and so on and so forth out in the woods than someone who didn't experience that.
Yeah, it's if you start asking your guests that have to deal with them a lot, if something happened, that like it's 75% or better that say they have.
Right. And I think it just allows that third eye, so to speak, to be more open or willing to be more open.
Like I started asking that question to anybody that had anybody that had repeated experiences, not like dude and his kid that saw one camping and took a trail and saw one step in, not that guy. I mean, but the repeat offenders all have something. I like my Harry Potter mug. The biggest. I don't even like Harry Potter. It's just the biggest mug I got. My other one's got rainbows on it, so I didn't know if I wanted to be on here with all the.
Yeah, you do. We need the dizzle.
Yeah, bring that rainbow dizzle with your black bean water.
My other thermos has T-Rex on it, so that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, Bobby, real quick, for those that aren't familiar with the story, tell everybody what happened, like when it started and what people were seeing in the Flintville area.
Sorry, I'm sorry to divert from that. I got kind of excited. All right. The first witness name is Ray Stillman. 1974. In Fayetteville, they used to have a fox bounty where you would kill these foxes. There were so many of them. You take them up to Fayetteville. Didn't have to gut them or skin them. Just take you a bundle of fox, $30 a pop. I'm telling you, we're in the wrong business. But anyway, he got so good at killing these foxes that they would just, it was every night for him. And he happened to see one when he's hitting the squirrel call or the rabbit call. You know, he said it came out. It was black, had red eyes. And it was just so mad at this fox call. And they tried to, they were just messing with him, holler at him, didn't really understand what they were dealing with. But that was Ray Stillman, the first one. He was a TV personality around here on one of the local TV channels. Now he's a pilot. But yeah, he saw the first one, and then it led to a string of sightings. There was a sighting where a mom saw one, almost like your intro that talks about that. That's literally one of the Flintville monster stories. A mom saw a white one chasing her kid, and she got to it first. And that's one of them. But the other guy I've got is David Golden. He's the principal of Flintville School. I went to the school. We set up all my lights, my microphones, all in the school conference room. He told me his story. He saw it walking down the railroad tracks in the mid '80s. It was all white, and they started chasing after it and doing like a hoot owl call, and they would do it back at him.
Hey, that was pretty good.
I can do a hoot owl now.
Yeah, what that is really good.
I can even go look out. I'll make a turkey gobble on you. But Yeah, but he said they were doing a whoop, 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 doing it back and forth at it, and it would do it back, and they started running after it. Well, about a half mile down the train track, they ran into a family that was camping, and they're like, "Did you see that white person or that big white thing?" They're like, "No, what are you talking about?" And so it dipped out or whatever. But that's my two interviews is Ray Stillman and David Golden from the school. But like the poster boy for the Flintville Monster was a guy named Stan Moore, and he led like lynch mobs after this thing. I mean, they had guns and pitchforks, and there's a fish hatchery up there for the trout because you know the Elk River is a big trout fishing destination. There was like they're like marching on it like the Civil War with all this stuff, and the game wardens had to come down from like Knoxville and like Cornersville, Tennessee, and like trying to control like, what are y'all doing down here? they were trying to kill it. But that's what it was. Like started in 1974, and it got really, really bad. And it started like getting in people's houses. I think one of them got in the house, and like there was hundreds of sightings. Like he was like, and then one person saw it, then they saw it, then another person saw it, and it was either black or it was white. And I don't know if there were two of them, if there was a portal open. I don't want to know how woo we want to get.
Bobby, this could be like a mass hysteria type thing.
Oh, it totally was at one point. I'm sure toward the end of it, it was just like anything that was like a dog jumping after a bird on a bird feeder. That's a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Ray Stillman saw it like close. And he said, we thought about getting a shotgun out and taking care of it, but what if it got over there and be a zipper on the back or something? He said, I don't know.
Exactly. Then you spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yeah. Well, who was it that said the first guy that shoots a Bigfoot will be a hero, the second one will be a murderer?
I don't know.
That is so true, though. I never thought about it like that, but that is so true.
Because every hunter gets one. And so if you can use it on a Bigfoot, that may be the best use of the one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would never do it because first of all, I don't know if I'd shoot a gorilla if I saw it in the woods. And I don't think they look like gorillas like we think they do. Like if you make AI draw a Bigfoot, it draws a silverback. I'm like, that's not. No, right. It's just a dude in a Bigfoot costume.
Well, I can tell you right now, Bobby, as for me and my organization, Manimal, I can speak for most everyone. The only way we're shooting one is if we're in danger.
Yeah. I
want to go out and I want to see one. That's it. I want to see one. I want to see how they live. I want to learn from them. Now, if one's pissed off and it has a raging boner and it's coming after me, I'm going to do my best to put that thing down before it puts me down.
Makes you wonder, like, I've heard of people like shooting them before it and there's no blood and they'll scream and run away. And
yeah, Brian King Sharp and I just got back a couple months ago from the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot conference in Missouri. Had a fabulous time. Mr. Robert Matler, I see him in the chat here. He hung out with us because we didn't just go to the conference. We camped for 3 days after. And on that second day of camping, we were supposed to go, or we did go, to meet this guy who had filed a BFRO report about actually shooting a Bigfoot. And we went to meet him. He was going to take us back to the location. We had things planned out that we were going to ask, little like scenarios we were going to put him in, all this stuff laid out, and dude didn't show up. So we drove 2 hours from the camp to meet this guy, waited on him for a good hour, drove out to try to find where the spot he was talking about. The spot he was talking about was listed as private property, so we couldn't go on to it. But all of that being said, it was a great opportunity to talk to someone that claimed to have shot one of these things. Like he shot it with I think a 223. Is that like a varmint round?
Yeah, that's a AR.
Yeah, AR 223 is an AR, but what's the varmint round?
243 is a little bit bigger. They use a 17 HMR.
Something like that. It was a 2-something is what he shot it 3 times. He said he shot once, and it turned around, he shot it 2 more times, and he thinks he hit it those 2 second times.
Mhm.
But I don't know. He didn't show up. And then later on, he contacted, because we tried calling him and all that stuff. Later on, he wrote Marianne back and said, I've had COVID and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. You could have let us know before we drove 2 hours to meet you. But yeah, and I've talked to a couple other people. This one gentleman that claimed to shoot one with like what's the big handgun? A 357. He claimed to shoot one with the 357. I don't know what to make about these people that claim to shoot one.
Well, there's also stories, or there was a story of the same thing happening with Dogman. This guy and his brother were hunting, and they were, of course, separate. And he said that his brother had started shooting at something, so he ran down to help him. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I could get this wrong, so I apologize. He had run down, and the guy said he shot this thing 6 times and it didn't kill it. And so the brother shot it in the head and killed it. They put it in the back of a truck.
In the face.
Yeah, they put him in the back of the truck. Park ranger was called, and he said was it cover it up, burn it, something, but this never happened.
Well, where did you get this story, Tiffany?
I can't remember where I heard it. It was somewhere credible, because it was in a like a thing of these stories.
I was gonna say, we haven't had them on, because I would remember that.
No, we didn't have them on the show.
Definitely heard it on
CNN.
CNN.
On the show, because that would be kick-ass.
CNN.
CNN.com/Bigfoot.
All right.
Oh no, man! It's the shooting them thing, man. They're either getting covered up by getting swarmed by the government when it happens, or it just doesn't happen, or they live through it because they have some kind of special thing.
So Brian and I on that Bigfoot podcast have talked about several times. There needs to be a protocol. We have to put, as a community, we have to come together and put together a protocol on what to do if the Holy Grail happens. If one of us gets one, that's the Holy Grail. What happens? What do we do? Who do we contact? Who do we make sure we don't contact? I mean, I don't know. Because if it's a 1,000-pound animal in the woods, you're not going to drag that thing out. I'm sorry. It's like killing a fucking moose.
It'd be a cow, just like a moose.
Yeah. I mean, when someone hunts a moose, they quarter it in the field, and drag out the usable meat. What would you do with the Bigfoot? Ideally, you'd want the whole body. But what do you take? A head? Would a head be sufficient? Maybe a head, a hand, and a foot is what I would think. If you could bring in a head, a hand, and a foot, there should be no more. That should be enough, wouldn't you think?
It'd be enough to get it started.
I mean, it would be enough to prove that there's a North American primate, undiscovered North American primate running around up here. If I bring in this gruesome ass head and then a hand, so we can get measurements of their hand compared to ours, and then what are they called? They're called a Bigfoot. So if we bring in one of these big ass feet, that should suffice, I would think.
Man, I go.
And who do we give it to? Who do we give it to, Bobby?
Yeah. They're going to take it away and hide it.
Yeah,
and suppress it.
Well, because pictures are no good, videos no good. It's got to be
good. If video was good, this mystery would have been solved in 1967.
Right.
If video was enough, Patty would have done it for us. Freeman would have done it for us. Video is never going to be enough. It's going to take a body, people. I'm sorry. It's going to.
And none of us want that to happen. But as far as proof and all that goes.
Well, I want it to happen. I do want it to happen. But I don't want it to be because someone went out and killed one.
Right.
I want it to be someone hit it with a car on accident. So someone finds a body of a rogue male or whatever. and a fresh body and brings it in. That's how ideally that's how I wish it would happen.
The Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Well, what if the Fae thing is true? And like I said, I go woo woo really fast.
I love the Fae, Bobby. You know I do.
I'm just and the Dizzle. But I mean, what?
Yes,
Fae
the
Dizzle.
Dizzle. The Fae and the Dizzle.
Fae Dizzle. That's what my mama's name was. Fae Dizzle.
Oh, really?
Not really. That sounds like a fun old lady name from the South, though.
Oh.
And you know, the Fae is like if they give you something to eat, it turns into like leaves. Like what if when Bigfoot died, they forced ghosts into leaves and dead trees? I go woo fast. I turn it quick.
But it's an interesting theory. I remember that, and I never can remember his name that he was on your show.
Jason McLean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fae lore overlaps 100% with it all. And I think that may be a big clue, not a big clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's
I don't even know what the fuck a Fae is.
It's a fairy.
It's a fairy. You're gonna learn.
You're
gonna learn, son.
But like if you research the Scottish and Irish Fae lore, it's all the same as the Bigfoot lore. It's exactly the same, and it will ruin your afternoon.
Exactly.
And you'll be like, "What the hell? We've been missing this." The knock on wood. The knock on wood is because you knock on the wood for the Fae for good luck. And what did Bigfoot do? They knock on wood. I mean, it's one after another, enough to like you could write a book on it.
Wow.
It's insane. And just thinking like I'd have to go back and listen to it, but I even think I'd made a video on it. The Bigfoot fairy connection.
Yep, I believe you did. I believe there was something on TikTok that you had put up there.
It's just one out.
All right, we are about an hour in, so we are going to jump to some of these questions.
I see Wendell's on there.
Yeah, before we do, though, I do want to say a very, very, very special thank you to a few people. First off, Joseph Arnold, so Joe Pat, hit us with a 10 spot on Venmo. Thank you very much, buddy. Troy hit us with a 50 on Venmo. And then Mr. Scott Trent hit us with another 50.
Y'all are just kick ass.
So, including the 35 that we got from Chris Blaylock, that's $145 tonight. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
So very much. That is so awesome of you. We appreciate it.
Yes, immensely.
All right, getting to our questions. Mr. Scott Trent, who was responsible for 50 of those dollars. Have during your investigations had a preacher or a priest or clergy go with you? If so, what happened?
I have not, but I did have a friend who was doing the ghost hunt thing like 10 years ago that had a priest that went with them. And he was just kind of a counselor of sorts, like guider. And he was like, you got to be careful with them, but spirits are people too. It was kind of that. Nothing crazy happened. Nobody like walked on their back or anything.
Okay.
Like Reagan, but.
All right, Mike Wolf. If you say you talked to Bigfoot when you got out and you go out investigating, what do you think they are? Do you feel they what is it? Do you feel they understand what you're saying?
Must have a character limit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do. I think that if they're out there at all, they understand from the people I've talked to and the intention-based sort of SOP they go by.
Okay.
I think there's some kind of communication.
Mr. Joe Pat, sir, thank you for your donation tonight. What do you think Shadow Man is?
Shadow Man, yeah, the sort of a malicious spirit. I think I am so dumb. I think that the Shadow Man is like your basic skin when you become a spirit, and you have to upgrade the different, like on Fortnite, you get like a basic skin. I think when you become a spirit and you want to torment a living person, you get your shadow, and that's like your basic running around NPC kind of skin. And I think that because I don't think it takes any energy to be a shadow, but you can't do anything. You can just
go around and scare the shit out of people.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's like whenever you get a hitchhiker, it's always a shadow man.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting as hell.
I've never looked at it like that. I love that.
It's like your basic. It's like your basic. It's your standard issue. Is like I'm a spirit. I'm going over here. I'm a shadow. Like I'm just the outline of something. Can't do anything. Can't really. Maybe I can push over a cup, but all I'm doing is scaring people in the corner of their eye.
All right, moving on to the next question. T. Rory, thank you for your donation, sir. Have you experienced mind speak?
I don't think so. I think I had one mess with my earpods one time, and I was like freaking out a little bit. And because they started ringing, I'm like, why you don't do this? Why are they doing this? Like they're not working. And I was in the middle of a hotbed.
Okay.
Netflix.
Mr. T. Roy follows up. Do you believe portals exist, and what are their purposes?
I absolutely do. I guess I could call him a friend. I only met him once, but he was a big enough of a person to meet that you meet him once over a weekend, you're like, well, this guy's legendary. But he recently passed away after entering a portal. And he entered a portal and came out, and then the guy with him died, and then he died like a year later.
Now, did you get that from Jessica Jones?
Yeah, it's her friend too.
Yeah, she told me.
More her friend than mine.
Yeah, because you went out with Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a speaker at the Squatch Out, and she told that story, and it has fascinated me since.
Mm-hmm. I met him before he died and went to his memorial service. Whenever we dropped the ash, they dropped the ashes out there. But I love Jessica's group, but I try not to say I'm part of it, even though like I do, like I know all the guys, I like them all, but still trying to get in with them but they're all cool people. That's the coolest group. Like I didn't know I'd meet that kind of people when I started doing this. I thought they'd be just whack jobs, not real. I'm like, oh, these are actual guys. Oh, they're serious, and I love them to death. Like I hope they accept me one day.
I'm
sure they do already. I'm telling you, man, some of the best people I've ever met in my life has been because of this big ass hairy dude that runs around in the woods that we can't catch up with, even if he's even real, you know.
Dude, the first time I was Glenn Jackson, and we were sitting around this campfire, and I was hearing these stories, and I'm like, this is what I want to do the rest of my effing life. I didn't want to go to bed. I wasn't sleepy. I'm like, is this real? I'm just like, I'm like, and I tell you what got me was like, why do I give a shit? This makes no sense. I am fascinated. I don't want this to end. And I usually go to bed early. I didn't want to go to bed. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to this guy's tent with him. See if he talks in his sleep and tells more stories. And it's happened 2 or 3 times, just like that. The last time it did, just up all night hearing these stories, and Greg Ogle's telling his stories, and that's one of the cooler dudes I've met. I consider him like a good friend. Just my daughter loves him. Like my daughters and me will go to a Bigfoot convention, and people know them more than for me. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's been a weird. It's like I didn't choose the Squatching. The Squatching chose me.
Yeah.
And like I'm just rolling with it. Like if it stops, it stops. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But so far, if I go toward the Bigfoot subject matter in any way, there's no resistance. And I have to stop myself from doing it all the time because I'll just dive headfirst in and get just sucked. And I'll just be going down a hole of Bigfootery. So I got to come back out and talk to scientists and things. Because I'll get in my head. I won't even want to go to work. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like there's a prehistoric monkey in the woods, and we're just here. This is stupid.
Prehistoric monkey.
Stupid. It's a shape-shifting monkey in the woods. We have to come to fucking work.
Right.
That's why I got to pull myself back out of it. Like, okay, let me talk to a paleontologist.
All right, we'll move on to my good buddy Robert Mettler. Off topic, but Where did you get the hat?
This one?
Yeah.
I think
Woodbugger.
it's one of those Facebook TikTok shops. If you look it up, like Woodbugger hat, they're on there.
Yeah, like maybe Etsy.
Yeah, my wife got it for me. Yeah, I think she got it from a Facebook ad.
Okay.
I'll look it up right here. Just look up Woodbugger hat.
Troy.
It's like I have a giant head and it fits amazing. That's why I wear it.
Troy in Tennessee is asking, Mr. Dizzle, have you had a Class A sighting?
I haven't. I haven't even had anything close to a Class A sighting. You heard my other than angel numbers and synchronicities. You heard my paranormal things tonight from South Pittsburgh. Couldn't think of it.
Okay. And also Robert tonight gifted 1 Paranormal Odyssey membership. You are the man, buddy. Thank you so much for doing that. We loves ya. Troy, love you guys so much. He's been a member for 10 months.
That's outstanding.
As long as we've been having members.
Yeah.
Troy has been a loyal follower. We love you, buddy. Troy makes, oh my God, the chili. I could go on and on and on. Bobby, you missed the chili because you couldn't make it to the Squatch Out, but I wish you could have seen this bowl of chili that he made. Oh my God, it was so amazing.
I had my stuff ready to go too.
Troy taught me how to make an omelet in a plastic bag, in a Ziploc bag, which I still do at home from time to time because it's amazing. It's just, Troy, you're awesome, buddy. I love you so much.
Oh, you boiling it?
Yeah, you take a damn freezer bag. You break your eggs, you put it in it, you dump the cheese in it, sausage. I usually fry up sausage beforehand, dump the sausage in it, or you can do bacon, you can do ham, and mix it all up in this bag. Get your water boiling, drop that bag in the boiling water, and 15 minutes later you have an omelet. You have a legitimate omelet. And it
like molds into that shape.
Yeah. It molds into the shape of the baggie. And it's, oh my God, it was so good. I was amazed. Land Between the Lakes is the first time he made that for me. And then he made me one at the Squatch Out too. And I have made them several times at home since because it's just so easy. And oh my God, they're so good.
I've gotten pretty good at flipping the omelets with the skillet though. Not having to use a spatula.
Really?
Get out there, go, yeah, catch it.
Oh, damn. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, you got to break a lot of eggs to make a lot of omelets like that to figure that out.
You just oil the pan real good and get that
you gotta,
flip of your wrist.
What you got to do is like get it kind of just kind of tipping it. And then once you figure out that you just go, oh, man, there it goes. It's either in the backsplash or in the skillet. And
we got one more comment from Sin Schrader Hill. I say we do a Paranormal Odyssey / caffeinated cryptid OSPH hunt. What is the OSPH hunt?
Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
There you go. I am with you, Sin.
The only downside of that, Sin, is it's dark as piss in there.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. We had to take floodlights down there. I tell you what. If I can bring a flashlight, like I'm talking like a deck flashlight, like one of them freaking boat halogen lights, I'll drive my happy ass and we'll do it. But
come down here, man.
Flashlight. I don't want to turn off the flashlight.
See, I've got a 5,000 lumen handheld one, like tactical one, and whenever I turn it upside down and put it in a room, it makes it like the light is on, but you can't touch the thing after it's been on for a while. And so we were using that. We actually did a podcast down at the basement for that guy's show. I could find it, but it was a lot of logistical moving things around just to get the cameras all set up down there. He had to bring the what's it called? The jacker, the little portable generator.
We should do that. We should do that. No, I'm not even kidding. I should come there. And we should do that. We should do a live Paranormal Odyssey caffeinated cryptid mashup.
I bet you could. They make the private hunts. You could just rent the private hunt. And,
I mean, you're the one in Virginia, Tiffany. Bobby and I are here close.
I know.
We
Yeah.
could do it.
To live in Virginia.
Yeah, but see, even Chris said, let's do it, Tiffany. See?
Richmond, south of Richmond over here.
I know it's a long haul, but how awesome would that
But,
be
you
to do a
know,
live show?
it
from a
would
haunted?
be. But, Manimal Research, and I'm glad Chris chimed in because I've been talking to her today. We've got a Manimal Research only investigation coming up, and we're going to do it Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be a 3-day camp out. We'll do Friday, Saturday, and come home on Sunday. So like a 2-night camp out. It'd be awesome if you could come. I mean, I'm sure you can't because you're in Virginia, probably have family. But Bobby, you're invited if you would like to come. I don't know what you guys do for Thanksgiving, but I just figured, Black Friday, everybody's off of work. So we do Friday, Saturday, and then come home on Sunday. So that's what we're doing.
Where is it?
Fall Creek Falls is I think is where we're going to do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm real big, and this will sound weird. I'm real big on going to these things till late at night and then toughing out to go home because I love my bed. Staying for I'll just chug a Red Bull or a Monster and come home. And
well, if you want to just come and hang out, we'd love to have you, man.
I'm bad about that. Like, where'd he go? He left. He's going home to sleep. He dipped out 4 hours. Yeah, man, he's good.
He's got his bedtime, man.
I'll be ripping Monsters after another coming across Sand Mountain. Just get home, 7,000 milligrams of caffeine, sleeping like a baby. hence the pot of coffee I just consumed in front of everybody.
That's crazy.
Well, whatever you want to do, man. The invitation is there, but we are doing it on that weekend. Talked to Chris before we came on tonight. Her and her husband Gary are gonna be coming down for it. Kevin's gonna be there. Tim, his wife April are gonna be there. A bunch of other people. It's gonna be a really good time. It is a Manimal Research only Squatch out, I guess you would call it, unless you're invited. So you guys are invited.
My daughter has these pajamas that say "Squatch out." It's bedtime.
That's right. All right, Bobby, real quick, tell everybody where they can find you, all of that good stuff.
Always to find me, BobbyDizzle.com. But I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify and iTunes. But everything's on BobbyDizzle.com. The Caffeinated Cryptid, you can search that. I post everything on YouTube first, and usually on Wednesdays right now that come out at midnight. I'll have one dropping here in about 4 hours on iTunes and everything. That may change. I may bunch them all up and start editing again. But yeah, I do one a week. They're usually fun. I try to get these guys who write books and things and have careers in this, pseudo careers, and I don't want them to tell their biography. I get them to let their hair down and tell me what they really want to talk about. Yeah. That's what's fun. I'm like the show, like you don't tell me how you wrote your book. Let's talk about the stuff that happened after you wrote your book and maybe your favorite movie or something like that. I don't want to hear your freaking career story. You've already told that. That's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have scientists. And I love scientists.
All right, Bobby, if there's anything I can do to help you with the Flintville project that you're working on, I would love to. Even if it's just, maybe getting out, camping out there, doing some, just personal experiences out there. I mean, that would be cool, I would think. But anything I can do to help you in that aspect, I would love to. I want to thank you for taking the time to come hang out tonight. Great show. Good stuff, buddy. I appreciate you coming and hanging out.
Yes.
I look forward to it all day. I've been I got Wayne and Tiff tonight. I know it's going to be good no matter what happens in the other goings on in the world. I still got that coming for me.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. Have a good one.
I will. Peace out.
Bye. I love that, man. He's so funny.
Yeah, Bobby's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good dude.
Yeah.
We need to have him on more. Have him like a regular.
I agree. I mean, he is a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah.
Right.
Wendell said that you can tie Bobby to a tree.
tie him to a tree and slather him in peanut butter.
He will be the bait. Don't do that to him.
All right, everybody. And I thank you so much for hanging out with us. Special thank you to Chris Blaylock, to Joe Pat, to Trent, to Troy for all hitting us with the what do you call them? Super sticker non-YouTube payments.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Thank you guys so very much. That was very cool of you. We definitely appreciate it. All right, say your goodbyes, ma'am.
Thank you for all your love and support and all your kind words on Facebook. And I can keep you updated privately, but not publicly. So thank you so much for everything. Oh, come back Saturday. Duh. We're going to have Ryan Paul Tremblay on, and we're going to be talking Bigfoot. We're going to be talking Faye, the Raven Mocker. So excited for that show.
Yeah, that should be really, really fun. He was in here earlier, I think.
He was. Too. He said he was in here just to give Bobby a hard time.
All right, guys. As always, thank you so very much for spending the evening with us. We love y'all. There would not be a show if it was not for you guys. We love you. Please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Until we talk again.